Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to another video. Today I'm up here in English Center to film something else for you that I think is pretty neat. And this is actually going to be a combination of a couple things in the area that I think are pretty neat, and I wanted to share them with you. And that is some of the bridges that are up here in the Pine Creek Valley. As you can see, the one in back of me there, which we're going to get a close-up look at it here momentarily, but it is pretty neat. It is a suspension bridge here in English Center that dates back to, I believe it's 1869. I think that's the correct year. It goes over the Little Pine Creek, and I wanted to get up here and actually film this thing before they, I guess, restore it or whatever. There's been talk over the past couple years that they're going to remove the bridge, put a temporary bridge up, and restore the other bridge and put it back. That's still in the works yet. Don't know if that's actually going to pan out or not, but I figured I would at least film this bridge and show you a couple other bridges too in this video while I'm up here on vacation. So let's go check this thing out. All right, so when you come up Little Pine Road, you come up to this bridge here, and this is really a low clearance here, but they say the clearance here is 10 feet 9 inches right where this sign is, and then over here it's exactly 9 feet. But it is a one-lane bridge, and it is also a open grate bridge. And some people call this the Golden Gate Bridge of English Center, which back in the day maybe it did look like the Golden Gate Bridge in a way. I'm not sure the original color of it or anything, but yeah, it's seen some better days and they want to restore it, but it's anchored in the back here. It's not so, can't see it that clear right now, but maybe we'll get a shot when we get on the other side, as you can see how it's anchored and everything. In the winter time when everything's dead, you can see the cement pillars here and how it's anchored. But we're going to walk across this. I know some of my YouTube friends have a phobia for walking across open grate bridges, but it's not that terribly high. But we'll take a walk across here and check this out. All right, so up top there is a sign that tells you who it was built by, and it was Dean and Westbrook, I believe, contractors and bridge engineers, and it looks like 1891. I think that's the year, if I can see it correctly there. So I thought somebody had told me it was 1869, but according to that, it looks like 1891. And again, if I am giving misinformation or anything, you know, you can leave it in the comments and correct me with it. But other information that I find too will be down at the bottom of the screen. And yes, this bridge does creak a little bit when cars go over it. As you heard there, that vehicle passing us. If you look down, yeah, it's all open down there. It's not that terribly of a high bridge, but it goes over the Little Pine Creek that's there, which is really low right now. And the ongoing joke with this is when they have the fireworks up here at the 4th of July, this town gets packed. And there's always a traffic jam of vehicles trying to get across this bridge after the fireworks are over. But if you have a Jeep or a pickup truck or four-wheel drive, you can skip the traffic jam and just drive around and come down and drive through the creek. You have a path going over there, goes back out over there to where my Jeep is parked, and comes back out on the road. So yes, you can drive through the creek here when it's low. I just love this creek up here. So nice fishing when the water levels are up, but right now it's just too low and conditions aren't right for trout fishing. But the thing about this bridge, I guess you can consider it a suspension bridge, but there's no cables or anything. It's just steel rods here and steel beams that span across it. No cables or anything. It's all rods and metal beams rather. And then on this side of the bridge up there, it just has the names of the county commissioners when it was built, but I can't make out any of the names or anything there. It's just too worn. So when you come across the bridge, you'll run into the English Center community building here. So here you can see how the bridge is anchored here. Now this part here has some cables on it going about halfway up there. So I'm not sure how this all, works or anything, but there is some cables to it here, but there's how it's anchored into the ground. And there's another spot over here. All right, let's walk back across this and walk down to the creek here and give you some shots of the bridge from underneath. So here is a shot of it heading down to the creek. Side shot of it. Like I said, it's not a high bridge, but I just think it's a unique bridge. And there you can see how everything's fastened together underneath. Now this one here, there's some more cables there. I guess they had to add them over the years for strength, but plates were welded there to the bottom of the bridge, and then the rods were bolted in place. So you can see where you would cross with a all-terrain or a four-wheel drive vehicle or whatever. It's probably only about maybe 6 or 8 inches deep there in the center. Gets a little bit deeper when the water levels are up, and when it storms and it floods up here, this creek is really bad. This creek can get very angry, which I haven't seen it, but people have told me how angry this creek can be. There you have it. Bridge number 1 of 3. So this is the suspension bridge up here in English Center. Now let's take a run up to the second bridge, which is up in Slate Run. Okay, we are at bridge number 2, and this is up here in the little village of Slate Run. And Slate Run and English Center, all these little towns up here back in the day, back in the late 1800s, were logging towns up here, where they you know, had the logging mills, cut the trees down, floated them down the creeks and to the logging mills here where they cut them up and everything. So, but you see the bridge behind me there, so let's go check this one out. All right, so here it is from the one side of the bridge, and up top is the sign, which the bridge was made by the Berlin Iron Bridge Company, East Berlin, Connecticut, I believe. And that looks like at the top there, this was made in 1890. And this is an open grade bridge that spans the Pine Creek, which comes down from Potter County. And I did a video a few years ago on this, where the Pine Creek actually starts. It's actually, the video is called The Triple Divide, and I'll put that up there in the corner of the screen. But there's also, the area here is also the Tidagton State Forest. It's also up on the mountain there, and pretty much all this area over here is part of that forest. So we're going to take a walk across this bridge here, check it out a little bit more. All right, so this bridge here is pretty much all steel beams. There's no rods to it or anything, unlike the bridge at Slate Run. It's got metal rods, but this is an all steel bridge again, and as well as an open grate. And there is a vehicle coming here, so you'll hear the rumbling of it crossing over the bridge. This bridge doesn't creak as much as the one up in English Center, but it's still a neat steel open grate bridge. And then looking up at the Pine Creek coming down, again, all the creeks up here are low. They desperately need rain up here. But not good conditions for kayaking. I kayaked down this one a few years ago in October, and the water levels were up, and it was a nice ride from Brown Township right up the road there at the fire company all the way down to, I believe it was Black Walnut Bottom, just down below Slate Run. And then here's a view of it from the other side, and maybe that'll show up a little bit better. Where it was made, or I should say who it was made by. No other markings or anything on the bridge, but so cool. And then just prior to crossing the bridge, if you're coming from the Waterville end, you will pass over this. which is the remains of the old railroad that went through here, which was called the Corning Secondary Road. And I believe this was, I don't believe this was the Pennsylvania Railroad. I think this was Penn Central ran on here, as well as the Central New York Railway came down through here. But this crosses the road and continues on down through there. And this is a 63-mile biking trail now. And I think I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. Last time there was a train in this area was 1989. Actually, it was the end of October of 1989, I believe, was the last time a freight train passed through here. Shortly thereafter, they started ripping the rails out from Wellsboro all the way down to Jersey Shore, and then sold the rights for the old railroad right-of-way for $1, and they started developing the rail trail, and it is complete. It is a nice trail. Like I said, it's 63 miles. I've been on it a couple times already in the area. I haven't ridden the whole thing, but that's going to be a separate video one of these times I'm up here. We will start up in Wellsboro, where the Corning Secondary ends on one side of the road and the rail trail begins on the other side, and follow it down to Jersey Shore. Alright, so we're going to walk back across it one last time, and unfortunately I can't get really any good shots of the bridge from underneath because all the land that is around here is posted private property. The only way I'd be able to get side shots is from the water, and water's too low to put a kayak on. And there isn't a good place around here to take off with the drone either to get some aerial shots of it. So this is all the views we're going to get of this bridge. All right, so there you go. Bridge number 2, the open grate bridge up in Slate Run. Now let's head down to bridge location number 3. All right, we are at stop number 3 with the bridges here in the Pine Creek Valley. And this one here is going to be a little bit different. The actual bridge that originally was here is not here, but we'll take you down and show you what's there now and explain to you what happened and everything. But what we're doing is we're going to walk down and show you the side shot of the bridge from the Pine Creek Rail Trail, which is right behind me there. And again, this is the rail trail that starts up in outside of Wellsboro and travels 63 miles down through the Pine Creek Valley to Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania. And again, the last time trains were on this line was in 1989, and I believe I have to do the research and put it at the bottom of the screen. This might actually have been part of the Pennsylvania Railroad at one time, but I know New York Central was on here because this was called the Corning Secondary. Then I believe after that Penn Central was on here, and then it was the Conrail era, and then yeah, they abandoned it in 1989 just before the end of Conrail, and they ripped the rails out there in the end of 1989. Last time the trains were through here again was in October of 1989. But you can see right there ahead is another bridge, and that's one of the train trestles here. This one is in Waterville. There's 2 more of these. There's one down in Ramsey and also down in Tolbert. But that's going to be for a separate video when I do a complete in-depth video of the rail trail. And also somewhere, if I can find the picture, There, I did see a picture already. Probably it might have been from a little further back where that gate is. But there is a picture somewhere of them just after they ripped the rails out. And all it was the railroad ties. And if I can find that picture again, I'll insert it right here. So there is an access point here. The Waterville Hotel's there. McConnell's Store's there. And then you can get off the trail and go in there and grab something to eat. McConnell's has good sandwiches and they have ice cream. Waterville Tavern has excellent food, a little bit more on the expensive side, but both places are good places to eat. So they do have mile marker posts along the rail trail here. So this is mile marker 51, and that is 51 miles from Wellsboro, which is north of here. So we'll take a walk here on the train trestle and check that out. And then over here to the right is the Waterville Bridge. So that bridge originally was not there. There was another bridge there, and again it was another steel bridge. I don't know if it was exactly where that one is right now, which Route 44 is there. But what they did was they took the steel bridge out, reassembled it, or tore it apart rather, and reassembled it, and it's down in my neck of the woods. It's actually in Lycoming County at the Swatara State Park. And with some movie magic here, we're going to take you right from here to Swatara State Park. Okay, so thanks to movie magic, we whisked away from Waterville, and we are now down here in Lycoming County at the Swatara State Park, and there you can see the Waterville Bridge, and we're going to be going up to that. But they have a little walkway there that we have to go out to and come up to it. And the background noise that you're hearing with all the traffic, well, that's Interstate 81 that is behind me there. So let's go up here and check out the Waterville Bridge. All right, so I'll include a still shot here of this bridge, but this is very similar to the one that is up in that you saw already. This was manufactured by the Berlin Iron Bridge Company of East Berlin, Connecticut, and those were the county commissioners at the time. And I think the bridge is, the date up there says 1878, it looks like. There's a name next to it yet too. But I think on the other side will actually be the date the bridge was made. But this is very similar to what you've seen before in this video. The only exception is it is not an open grate bridge like the rest of them are. It is just wooden decking on here. So let's go walk across this and check this bridge out a little bit more. Again, this is a steel constructed bridge. There are no cables involved. It is just all steel and iron rods. All right, so I did take a second look at the sign there standing here after I took the picture, and it is at the top, the very top there. It is 1890 the bridge was made. So the one thing nice about this bridge, filming this one versus the other ones up there, I don't have to worry about cars coming across this one. This one here is pedestrian or bicycle traffic only. And again, it is not open grate. They put a wooden decking on it. But there you can see all the steel rods, steel beams. And the bridge does give a little bit, which is to be expected, as with all the other bridges. They do give a little bit to help with the weight that's on it. But you can see out there the metal rod is moving. And then here is looking back to the other side. So we're going to continue on across it and check it out from the other side, and probably go underneath if we can. Go underneath the bridge at the Swatara Creek so see if we can get some shots of it underneath. So we're just about in the center of the bridge. And there you can see the Swatara Creek underneath me. And somewhere on this side over here that I'm going to was the Union Canal at one point. And you do have a lock on there, which is lock of love or something like that. I forget the meaning behind that when they have locks on a bridge like that. And then here is the other side. And it even looks like the Swatara Creek is a little low for this time of the year too. Looking there, I can see where the water line should be, right about there where my finger is. But nice little creek, just like the creek that this bridge used to span across, which was the Little Pine Creek. And now I know why they took this bridge out and put the bigger one in. This was a single lane bridge at one time, or still is a single lane bridge if there would be car traffic going across it, but that's why pretty much why they removed it, to put in the 2-lane bridge that you see now. There is a better shot of the sign at the top of the bridge. And then coming off the bridge, there are some other trails there. The Appalachian Trail, the Bear Hole Trail. So Lickdale is 2.3 miles away from here, which has, you know, food and phone. And then this also over here is the Swatara Rail Trail. So there was a railroad that went through here at one time, but I am not going to be doing that with this video. Obviously, that's going to be for a future video, but I got to do more research on this and see where the railroad actually ran at one time. So it looks like there was a road here at one time that came down probably before they built I think this might be Route 72 here or something like that goes up. So maybe this over here would have been the road, because it does look like it curves and goes up past that. But here is an information board on the water trail and everything, and it'll shows you where the one lock is for the Union Canal. There's another lock there, but again, I am not going to be getting into that in this video. That is going to be for a future video when I do more research on this area here. There is the sign for the Union Canal. You can read that there. So the canal is on the other side of the creek, where the parking area is now, I believe. But again, that's going to be for a future video. Okay, so here is the underside of the bridge, and I must say it's in better condition than the underside of the bridge up in English Center, but you can see where there would have been, you know, the open grates up there. But this is spanning the Swatara Creek, and it looks like down below there, not sure if there was another bridge here for the Appalachian Trail at one time or not, or if there was some kind of pier here, but there you can see one sticking up. There's one down there, and there's one right over there. Beams sticking up, so if there was something else in here, I don't know, but nothing's over there because that wall over there is basically rock and concrete that made the retaining wall over there. But there's the other piece sticking up there. But this is a nice little creek, and I did see some swimmers down there in the water. Probably good fishing in here too. And when I came across the bridge and came walking back, lo and behold, look what I found. Here is the Union Canal and one of the locks that goes along with it. Not quite sure of the lock number. I'll have to look that up and put it down at the bottom of the screen. But that is one of the locks. And then it would have went across from there right here to where I'm standing, and probably down that way somewhere where there's people are coming down there. So here is a side view of the bridge. And with a little bit of movie magic, we are now going to get whisked back to Waterville. All right, back up here in Waterville at the train trestle again. And you can see that the Little Pine Creek, which meets up down there with the Pine Creek, yeah, it's very low. But this is just another neat bridge, train trestle here. Like I said, when I do an in-depth video on the rail trail sometime in the future, I'll show you the rest of these trestles. And they do have a gauge on there which goes down to the creek somewhere. Not sure exactly where it is, but there's a rain gauge here that, or a creek gauge, whatever you want to call it, that the USGS uses to measure how high the water levels are. There's a couple of them along in different areas up here. It's just a neat train trestle. And there you can see the remains of the telegraph wires that used to be there. And I got some pigeons flying around here somewhere above me. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video with the bridges in the Pine Creek Valley. So if you did like the video, please give it the thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button down there and the bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos to YouTube. So until next time, it's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.